Today we're putting Shohei Ohtani on every team in Major League Baseball. 30 teams, 30 sims, 30 results. Which Shohei Ohtani is the best? We're going to start with the American League East. Up first, the Tampa Bay Rays. We buzzed through a season with the Rays where we finished 78 and 84. The Rays did not make the playoffs, and Ohtani did not win MVP. In fact, Brent Rooker was the winner of the MVP award that season. Shohei threw 170 innings, had 212 strikeouts, 3.4 ERA, 41 home runs, and 126 RBIs, but loses out the MVP to Brent Rooker and does not make the playoffs. Moving on to the Boston Red Sox. New to the Red Sox, along with Ohtani's Alex Bregman. The Red Sox are going to finish this season 94 and 68. But they get bounced out of the playoffs, so no dice for the Red Sox. Ohtani does win MVP. He threw 168 innings, 182 strikeouts, 3.7 ERA. On the offensive side, 44 homers, 118 RBIs, and an OPS over 1,000. The Toronto Blue Jays. That private plane almost got there. The Toronto Blue Jays, with Shohei Ohtani on the roster, end up finishing 94 and 68. They get bounced out of the playoffs in the first round. And Shohei Ohtani once again wins his second MVP award in the American League East. 175 innings, 198 strikeouts, 3.94 ERA. He had 57 home runs and 134 RBIs. The Baltimore Orioles, they've been a disaster in 2025, but in this sim, they end up finishing out 104 and 58. 104 wins just to get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. Can you believe that? 104 wins, first round exit, no MVP. A disaster class from a 104 win Baltimore Oriole team. 174 innings pitched, 213 strikeouts with a 3.6 ERA. 43 homers, 114 RBIs, but Aaron Judge wins back-to-back MVPs. Speaking of Aaron Judge, let's put Shohei Ohtani on Aaron Judge's team. The Yankees, with Judge and Ohtani, finish out 106 and 56. And of course, Ohtani wins MVP. Not only that, the Yankees win the World Series. Our first World Series winner with Shohei Ohtani is the New York Yankees. He threw 207 innings, 199 strikeouts, 2.69 ERA, 51 homers, 36 stolen bases, and 128 RBIs. The Yankees win the World Series with Ohtani. Aaron Judge's not even the best player on the team anymore. That's not right. Moving on to the AL Central, let's start with the White Sox, who end up finishing out their Shohei Ohtani season with a 74 and 88 record. And our boy Shohei Ohtani does not win the MVP award. Corey Seager getting more hardware, and he's got like a weird career. Ohtani in his playoff-less season with the White Sox threw 167 innings. He had 190 strikeouts with a 3.23 ERA, 33 home runs, 118 RBIs, and a 952 OPS. And we're going to slide down to the Guardians, who always have a pretty solid team. They're in the playoffs pretty much every single year. They end up finishing at 95 and 67. Just to get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. So another first round exit here from a 95-plus win team. And Shohei once again comes up short of the MVP, this time again to Aaron Judge. 125 innings pitched, 138 strikeouts, 3.5 ERA, 37 strikeouts, and 92 RBIs. He did miss a month's worth of games. The Detroit Tigers breaking out into like a dominant perennial playoff team now in Major League Baseball. They made it last year, Cinderella story. Now they're one of the best teams in the league. They finished this sim with Ohtani with 92 wins and 70 losses. Based on real life, kind of a disappointment. Once again, Shohei loses out on the MVP award. Once again, he loses out to Aaron Judge, but the Tigers go all the way to the World Series where they lose. We got this close to having a 92-win Tigers team spark through the playoffs as a wild card and win it all. Shohei pitched 166 innings, 188 strikeouts, a 4 flat ERA, 35 homers, and 120 RBIs. Judge wins MVP, and the Tigers fall short in the Winter Classic. Bobby Witt Jr. and the Royals could use another superstar. Why not? Get through this sim with the Royals, and we make the playoffs with an 88 and 74 record. But again, we lose in the first round of the playoffs. This was a big year for Ohtani, though. He won MVP and the Cy Young Award through 189 innings, 210 strikeouts with a 3.1 ERA, while also hitting 55 homers with 142 RBIs. This might be the best season that you see in this video. The Minnesota Twins, again, they're kind of just missing a superstar, and through this sim, they end up winning over 100 games. They do get bounced in the second round of the playoffs, though. This was an MVP season for Shohei Ohtani. He threw 175 for 209 strikeouts, 4.1 ERA, got over the 50 homer mark once again with 51, 130 RBIs, 25 stolen bases, 1,049 OPS. A really good season for Ohtani and a good season for the Minnesota Twins, but they come up short in the second round. So the Twins won the most games in the American League Central, but the Tigers go all the way to the World Series and lose. I don't know what you consider the best season out of those two. His best season statistically was with the Royals. Moving on to the AL West now, and we're starting with the Astros, who of course already have a good team. They're going to win 100+ games, 101 to be specific, and they get into the second round, and that's exactly where their season will end. Ohtani, though, another big season on the mound, wins the Cy Young Award. But get this, Ohtani wins Cy Young, does not win MVP. Brent Rooker takes the MVP award. The second time you see Brent Rooker taking the MVP from Shohei. Ohtani throws 191 innings, 212 Ks, 3 flat ERA, 38 homers, 111 RBIs, 28 stolen bases. Brent Rooker's 50 bombs gets it done. I don't know. I think we might have got fleeced of an MVP on that one. Now the Athletics. So I don't even know what to make of this. We get through the A's sim. They only won 83 games, barely above 500, and we do not get the MVP. So Brent Rooker, who's been winning a bunch of MVPs, does not win this one. Shohei also does not win this one. Shohei actually got banged up in this sim, pitched 136 innings, 142 strikeouts, 3.2 ERA, but while missing a month, he still hit 50 home runs for 115 RBIs. That had some promise if he played the whole season. That's unfortunate. Now the Seattle Mariners, who finish this sim with a 102-60 record. The Mariners have had some big seasons in the past. They've never won a World Series, and they lose in the second round here yet again. This was a very Seattle Mariner-esque season. They win 102. They get bounced in the second round, and we do get the MVP award. This was an MVP season for Shohei. 174 innings, 203 strikeouts, 3.4 ERA, 58 bombs, and 160 RBIs. Moving down to Texas now, where the Texas Rangers, Corey Seager, recently won a World Series. They're going to finish this season with a 95-67 record, a really good team, and they go all the way to the American League Championship Series, where they do end up falling short of the World Series. Ohtani does not win the MVP in this season and pitched 170 innings, 188 strikeouts, hit 29 homers, 89 RBIs, 893 OPS. This was one of his worst hitting seasons in the sim. Actually, probably is his very worst hitting season out of the entire sim. And now, last but not least, from the American League, we have the Angels of Anaheim, and the Angels make the playoffs with a 90-72 record. Now, as I was doing this sim, I thought to myself, they have an opportunity here to do the funniest thing ever, and boy, the Angels burn through the playoffs and win the World Series. You heard that correct. Shohei Ohtani and the Los Angeles Angels win the World Series. We have our second World Series winner, and it is his former team, the Angels. He not only wins the MVP, he wins the World Series MVP. On the season, he threw 164 innings with 201 strikeouts, hitting 55 home runs, 146 RBIs, and he snagged 30 bases. A dominant all-time season with the Angels, finished off with a World Series. That is just salt in the wound. I ask all the time, I'm asking again, do Angels fans enjoy this game? Time to slide to the National League, and we're going to start out west with the San Francisco Giants. And the San Francisco Giants finished this sim with a 95-67 record. They're a wild card team, and they go all the way to the NLCS, where they lose out. Pitched 191 innings, 213 strikeouts, 2.83 ERA, 48 home runs, 111 RBIs, and another MVP season. This was one of his more balanced seasons, a 2.8 ERA. Colorado Rockies, I had no expectations going into this one, and boy, did they disappoint. 69-93 was the final record. This was probably the worst sim out of all of them. 181 innings from Ohtani, 214 strikeouts and a 3.1 ERA, 46 home runs, but no playoffs for the Rockies. So we're going to head to San Diego, and the San Diego Padres already have a playoff team. You'd think adding Ohtani to this team would be insane, but they end up finishing 85 and 77 overall. Ohtani pitched 180 innings and 198 strikeouts, 3 ERA with 41 homers and a 933 OPS. He did win MVP, even though that was a kind of a disappointing season offensively with just a 933 OPS. The Arizona Diamondbacks. I didn't know what to make of this one. I didn't know how he fit into this lineup, but they end up winning 103 games. They won 7 consecutive games to end the playoffs, and you're looking at a World Series winning Arizona Diamondbacks team that won 103 games. Our third World Series winner and the best sim out of the NL West comes from the Diamondbacks. He pitched 169 innings, 184 strikeouts, 3.3 ERA, 46 home runs, 116 RBIs. Now we're going to go to the NL East, and we're going to start with my Philly. Powerhouse already as it is in a World Series expectations. They end up winning 93 in this sim, and they get bounced in the NLDS. Ohtani throws 186, 198 strikeouts, a 2.8 ERA. He was great on the mound. He also had 57 home runs and 145 RBIs, another MVP campaign. And that moves us over to Atlanta. And the Atlanta Braves, one of the best teams on paper in the league. You're about to see one of the best seasons from Ohtani here, but a weird one. The Braves win 104. They go 104 and 58. Ohtani pitches 160 innings, 199 strikeouts, 5.1 ERA. That's not good. But look at the offensive side. 67 homers from Shohei. The New York Mets are up next, and after the sim, they finish with a 98 and 64 record. They lose in the National League Division Series, and Ohtani pitched 163 innings. He had 164 strikeouts, 4.8 ERA, 43 home runs, 119 RBIs, and a 935 OPS. Actually, one of his more disappointing individual seasons, but the Mets overall had a good season. They just got bounced out of the NLDS. With the Nats, they finished with a 79 and 83 record. He has 181 innings pitched, 200 strikeouts, 3.5 ERA, and 54 home runs. Moving us to the final team in the NL East, which is the Marlins. And Ohtani got hurt, only threw 110 innings, but hit 42 home runs in limited action. Chicago with the Cubbies, and they finish strong with a 96 and 66 record, and they ride that momentum right into the postseason because they're going to go all the way on to win the World Series. We have our 4th World Series winner with Shohei Ohtani in this video. The Chicago Cubs get it done. 181 innings, 208 strikeouts, 3.3 ERA with 52 home runs and another MVP award. Shohei Ohtani, have a day. Now we're going to make our way over to Pittsburgh. And this was the most boring sim that I did. 172 innings, 855 OPS. Pirates go 72 and 90, and there was no good trades, nothing, no injuries, nada. It was over in a minute. Now we're going to try our luck with the Cincinnati Reds. Shohei Ohtani in a Reds uniform ends up finishing 94 and 68. They do get bounced out of the first round, unfortunately, by the Phillies. Had 38 homers in this sim, while pitching 168 innings with 197 strikeouts. The Milwaukee Brewers end up having a very good season here. They finish 102 and 60. They do unfortunately get eliminated in the first round, but Ohtani threw 191 innings, 222 strikeouts with a 2.4 ERA. He had 48 home runs offensively. He did win the MVP award. And then to finish things off, we have the St. Louis Cardinals. And the Cardinals I didn't have very high expectations for, but they end up sneaking in the playoffs with 88 wins, and they go on to the second round, but that will be all they get. The 88-win Cardinals get bounced in the second round. Shohei Ohtani threw 177 innings, 207 strikeouts, and a 3.3 ERA. 49 homers, a 1,017 OPS. And now last but not least, the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're going to finish 94 and 68, a little underwhelming, and they get bounced out of the playoffs by the Philadelphia Phillies. Hopefully, a look into the future. He threw 174 innings at a 4.4 ERA, and he hit another 49 homers offensively. That wraps up our sim. Let's tally up the stats. And he hit a grand total of 1,396 home runs, 3,703 RBIs. in 30 seasons. That's 46.5 home runs and 123.5 RBIs. I had way too much fun with this. That is way too much information and more than you ever needed to know. If you're still watching at this point in the video and you're not subscribed, let's change that.